welcome to Colorado
and Company.
and Company. Today we have Janet Schoen and Susie Morris from the Conifer Historical Society
And museum.
And Janet, you are the president, I understand, and Susie is the immediate past president of the Historical Society. So, Susie, when did the Historical Society begin, and how long has it been in operation?
Well, the Historical Society began as a project of a Grange in Conifer, and okay, I had that all. Rewind. The the Pleasant Park, the Historical Society began as a project of the Pleasant Park Grange, a Grange in Conifer, and that's all I want to say is a Grange in Conifer.
I won't even go there.
Yeah.
It's too much information.
Right.
It's confusing.
All right. The Pleasant.
When did it start and why?
It started in 2004. The Chamber of Commerce asked a group to provide museum exhibits for a local festival, and we did that 3 summers in a row. And then we decided in 2006, at the end of 2006, that we need to get serious about preserving the history of our area.
So did we start it in 2006 or 2004? You gave me 2 years that it started.
It began as a project for the that we did for the Chamber of Commerce, that a group did for the Chamber of Commerce in 2004. I mean, how do we?
So the
I'm
seed was planted.
Yes.
The seed was planted
Right.
in 2004,
Right.
but you formally organized
Do you want me to
in
say the concept
2007.
began in 2004 when a group was asked to provide museum exhibits about Conifer history for a local festival. And we did that 3 years in a row. And then we began to get more formal about our work to form a historical society.
So Janet, there are so many mountain front range communities. What makes Conifer special?
Conifer was really central in the Colorado history of transportation and the gold rush to California in the 1850s. At the same time that the gold rush was happening, Conifer was settled. And this particular piece of land was homesteaded in 1860 or purchased in 1860. And then actually the homestead came through in 1874. The home was built in 1889. That's on that. Oh, I didn't even tell them which home we're talking about.
We don't know what you're talking about.
We have no idea what we're talking about. Okay.
Ask your question again.
Yeah. And we should put those on the floor. Right now.
So Janet, there are so many front range communities around the Denver metro area. What makes Conifer different?
Conifer was an important stage route for the gold fields in South Park and on into Breckenridge. And it was a place that people stopped and stayed, and sometimes overnight and sometimes for a lifetime.
Okay, so what is your current goal? What are you currently focusing on, Janet?
We're hoping to preserve the history and the culture of this mountain area, which is very indicative of Colorado's history, very similar to the whole Colorado state history. And in particular, we're hoping to preserve a very iconic home called, right now it's the Meyer family home on US Highway 285. It's a very, most people who drive 285 know the big yellow house on the right-hand side if they're going down to South Park. And we are hoping that someday, with the family's permission, we're working in partnership with them, we're hoping that someday we can make that a living history museum.
So, if I understand this correctly, you do not yet have a physical building as a museum.
That's right. Most of our exhibits are traveling exhibits.
So, to make this your museum, and you're working in cooperation with the family, Susie, can you explain what steps need to be done?
Oh, that's going to be her question.
Yeah.
That's going to be her question.
It will.
Okay.
Right now we're in the middle of a feasibility study, or we're beginning a feasibility study. And what that means is we're looking to see, is the house structurally sound? Can it handle people coming in, a large number of people coming in to visit it? What would it take to bring it up to the standards of a museum, at the same time preserving the historic nature of the home? It is a National Historic Site, so we want to preserve as much of that history as possible. So we've just we've just signed with a group to possibly do a historic structure assessment to see how sound the home is. And then from that area, from that project, we'll go forward and work on the rest of the feasibility study and decide whether this is a project that's workable.
So a feasibility study takes a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Susie, can you explain to us how this small community plans to raise what is probably tens of thousands of dollars?
Well, we're taking it, this is going to be, I'm noting that we're going to mark answers, who's Janet and who's Susie. We're taking it one step at a time, and the first step is to determine if the first phase is not that expensive, and we're going to determine if it can transition from residential to more public use. And Janet can tell you more about what the other phases are. The rate you were asking about raising
Okay,
money.
now we've just answered that question. She has
Right.
just actually said kind of what you just said. And
Mhm.
what my question was, how do we raise,
Oh.
how do you raise tens of thousands of dollars?
Okay, well, we have, through our membership, through our fundraising events, and through special programs, also through grants that we're applying for. So we have a number of ways, and a lot of interest in our project. Do you want me to talk about the events themselves?
So what could we see on the immediate horizon this year?
So this year, we have, our first event will be on May 21st, and we're having something called a swingin' sock hop. And this will be music of the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And whether you like to dance or if you just want to listen to the music and visit the soda fountain, we would love to have people come. The information about that event and all of our events are on our website, and I assume you'll put the card up or something. We're also having on July 16th a Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival, and lots of food besides oysters, in case you don't like those, and a lot of music. I'm talking with some people right now who could bring in a stagecoach. We'd like to have stagecoach rides because the property was a stagecoach stop. We have a community picnic in August, and in addition to that, we have a number of educational programs that we call our summer lecture series. One of those will be in Ken Carroll, a tour of the beginning of the Bradford Toll Road. And the Bradford Toll Road started at Ken Carroll Ranch and came up over Bradford Mountain and along South Turkey Creek through Conifer and on to Fairplay. Another event will be on this is where I need my list in front of me right now. I'll have them.
I would just highlight 3. I wouldn't.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't go.
I wouldn't, yeah.
We'll be having a visit with Abraham Lincoln. I've been talking with Abraham Lincoln, and he's going to be speaking to us. This is a collaboration that we're doing with the Highwan Homestead. And another program is the history of the Clifton House. The Clifton House is a very popular bed and breakfast and winery now in Conifer, and has a very interesting history. So these are some of the educational programs that we'll have, and it's all going to be on the website. 5 minutes?
And I hope to God I don't